Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We've got a great presentation that's coming up. Joplin High School is going to put on Little Mermaid, and we're fortunate enough this morning to have two of the key players take time out of their school schedules. Don't tell your teachers that you're doing this right now, okay? But we are fortunate enough to have Vivian Holt, who's there on your left, and Callie Hall there on your right. They're both sophomores and part of the upcoming presentation of The Little Mermaid at Joplin High School. Vivian and Callie, thank you so much for your time. Vivian, I want to start with you. What has it been like coming off post-pandemic? And I don't want to call you a child. You're a young woman. But the past 2.5 years of your life have taken you from junior high into high school during this pandemic phase. What is it like to be back up on stage and to be able to welcome people into a theater setting?
It's great having like big audiences back. It's really great having like another just group of people that I didn't have before. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. Like I can kind of see like the excitement coming out of you right there. Callie, as far as when they put out the schedule and whatnot, is there something that attracted you to The Little Mermaid? Did you say, hey, I have a certain role in mind? Callie happens to play Alana in the upcoming performance right there. Is there something that you were like, yes, this is a thing I want to be a part of, and if so, why?
Well, usually I am part of the musical every year. I do a lot of theater. So when I heard we were doing The Little Mermaid, I was like, oh, that's such a fun show. So I obviously wanted to do it. And it's just a great show overall. So it was just a definite yes for me. I didn't really have a specific character I wanted to be in mind. I just wanted to be a part of it because it's so fun.
I find it interesting that this is one of the most popular Disney movies. And so I have to ask you, now that you're young women in high school, did either of you watch this when you were children growing up?
I did not, but I listened to the soundtrack and I do love that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Callie, did you watch it as a child?
No, yeah, I definitely did a lot. And so do my siblings. I have a lot of siblings, and we all really enjoy the movie.
So this is very interesting. Callie, is it one of those things where you were, and Vivian, I want to get your perspective on this too. Callie, coming off of watching the movie, what were some of the differences that you noticed in the transition from the movie that you were familiar with to taking Alana and putting her on stage?
Well, it is really different from the movie because in the movie, you don't really see a lot of the Ariel sisters, the Mer sisters, but when we put the musical on stage, it includes a lot more character moments that are able to show more of the sisters and just tell more of the story in general.
And so, Vivian, that's interesting from your perspective because you kind of come in with a blank slate, per se, with maybe not so many preconceived ideas as far as what the movie was like. When you get up there, how are you trying to interpret your role and kind of convey that, knowing that probably the majority of the audience has in fact watched the movie?
Well, like we do know that like whenever like Ariel like falls in love and whatever, like all of her sisters are like kind of annoyed by her.
So I have to ask the both of you this as we get ready for the performance here. What was your favorite part? I know the hard work and effort that you two have put into this, and not only you two, your entire cast, not only what you'll see on the stage, but also behind the scenes, and God bless the work of your fine directors and everybody there at the high school as well. What's been the most fun part of this journey leading up to opening night?
Well, I think for me, my favorite part has just been able to perform and tell a story in this whole story because it's such a great movie, and having people see that story on stage and us being able to retell that to such a big audience is really fun for me.
And Vivian, I want you to answer that as well. What has been the most fun for you?
Being able to like what Callie said, like being able to put on this great performance, but also because I'm doing it with all of my closest friends, and we all have a very closer bond after the rehearsal process.
Vivian, I tell you what, I'm so glad that you hammered home that point right there, because as much as us parents and us community members love watching you, that's television, folks. That's what happens on an overhead announcement. You guys are doing great. No, Vivian, what I was going to say is I love the fact that you hammered home the point that as a community and a theater stage troupe that you all come together. I want to thank Vivian Holt and Callie Hall once again. And so just, hey, before you guys get out of here, I want to remind everybody that it's coming up April 7th through the 9th. Performances start at 7 p.m. and you can find a link to buy tickets. You can get them at the door, but also too, we'll make sure that we have a link at komnewsnow.com on this interview. I want to thank the two of you. I know you've got to get back to school because that overhead announcement is like, telling me you guys have classes to do. But thank you so much. And Vivian and Callie, whenever we do an interview like this, I like to finish it off one way. Break a leg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.